in, the equipment needed to make sure that everything worked. And guess what? It worked like a charm. Worked great. I felt like a hero. It was good. And so I'm proud of that. I don't know. I don't know if all the other guys were. One thing about working at big places like that, like I said, I love the job, but sometimes dealing with the personalities, especially like the narcissist, and for some reason at those big companies, they tend to be like pools of narcissists, And I mean, it's no surprise. A lot of them hire their people from the same location, if you know what I mean. And so there's a big plethora of that. But I enjoyed the work. I could tell some of the other guys, they kind of were like, oh yeah, Edwin liked you. They kind of had a little smirky tone to them a little bit, but it was kind of like, man, I mean, I feel like I saved the account. It should really be like happy, but okay. But that was a cool job. Yeah, I worked with some really cool people, really did. I mean, like I said, there was the narcissist there. That's typical for anywhere. But besides that, there were some really nice, smart, genuine people at that company. And I did learn a lot, and it was real high-tech job, so that was cool. You got to travel, and, there was ups and downs with that. Did I do the best at there? I mean, there were times where I shined really good, and then there were times, I'll just be honest, especially right around the end, I didn't. I was a contractor there, so it was kind of like a temp position, and I was hoping to get it permanent. And the guy who was managing me was kind of, at first, he kind of was, leading it to where I was there was a good shot. And then around the end, he was pretty much like, yeah, it's not going to work out. You probably need to find another, place to work, get that lined up. So I'll be honest with you, towards the end there, I kind of was a little burnt out with it. But, things happen like that. I'm happy for the experience and what I learned there. And, like I said, it was really cool making the connections that I did, because there were some really cool people there. And, you never know what's gonna turn out, in the future from people that you meet during your past. So especially when you're dealing with sales, really. And that's what makes the business so, exciting to me, is because you really don't know who you're going to meet. You might meet somebody and then all of a sudden, years down the road, that turns out to be a connection that gets you like a big time job, because they remembered you when you were on your A game. So